Welcome back. You're still watching the Daily Debate, and I'm honored to be having with me over the program for tonight Dr. Mohamed Azzam, the member of the board of the International Association of the Management of Technology. Thank you very much once again for being with us, Dr. Mohamed. Before the break, or before the report, I was asking the question of the benefit of having better relationships, better bilateral ties in the fields of education and higher education between Egypt and Africa. Do you think that this is attainable in the age of artificial intelligence, in the age of digital transformation, especially that, according to this index, the QS World Rankings for universities, we are the best African country in this field, in the field of higher education, covering about 32 different universities. How can we be having better bilateral relations in this field?
Thank you for this question, because it's very important. Actually, I'm going to give you an example of this kind of cooperation between Egypt and the African countries in the continent. Actually, I was privileged to be a speaker in the Africa Health Excon that was held under the auspice of His Excellency President Sisi a few days ago. And if you see the ministers of health, the minister of education from the African countries coming to Egypt, having a discussion on the panels, having so many memorandum of understanding with respect to cooperation in the public health domain, in the medical education, in having a sort of knowledge transfer in the area of combating diseases, and having cooperation in so many different aspects, even when it comes to innovation. And of course, innovation, the higher education universities is a very important pillar of such innovation, and how Egypt and the African countries are collaborating, you'll be amazed. If you witness such discussions, the memorandum of understanding that signed, even the side talks, there is always a dialogue, and there is a real attention, and there is a political will from Egypt under the leadership of President Sisi and so many other African countries to work together. Actually, because we cannot do it alone. We need to cooperate in so many fields, and on the top of this field is research and development. And actually, my talk was about how to have a sort of collaboration on massive R&D, especially in healthcare system and healthcare sector. Because it's very important actually to own this kind of technology. And of course, because the African continent is a huge market, it's the population over 1.2 billion population, and of course the future is for Africa. Actually, the growth rate is very high across so many economies in the African continent, and of course that's why we need to have a better collaboration on applied research and development. And the only way to do this is to have a sort of collaboration between industry and academia across the continent. Because actually, if you look at the research and development map worldwide, you can find the companies that spend, the top 20 companies spending like 1.7 trillion US dollar on R&D, and actually such 20 companies owning 25% of the global GDP. So this shows how important it is, and we have so many challenges on the African continent, and the only way to combat such challenges and to face such challenges and to find novel solutions is to build real partnership between the public sector and the private sector, as well as the academia, to serve the countries on the continent level. And of course, academia, the education institution, the research and development institution is a key element and key pillar within this ecosystem. So I've seen that actually is doable, and there is a lot of venues that we can work together as African nations to build a better, resilient, more competitive continent.
Yes, having better relationships and better bilateral ties between Egypt and Africa was one of the main priorities of His Excellency President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi over the past decade. One other priority is to be giving more care, more attention to the Upper Egypt region, to the south of Egypt. And according to this Index. According to this ranking, the QS World Ranking for Universities, the University of Asyut is the third best university here in Egypt. So this makes the University of Asyut one of the best in Africa, to say the least. What does this say about the priorities of the government, of the political leadership, to be giving more attention, more care for the Upper Egypt region in different fields, not just for higher education and education?
Definitely, we've seen a lot of development that is taking place all over Egypt, especially in the southern part of Egypt and Upper Egypt. We've seen new universities, new institutions, new industrial complexes. We've seen so many agriculture projects. We've seen so many power projects or energy projects, especially in the domain of renewable energy. We've seen the solar farm in Aswan, we've seen the wind farm in Red Sea, and there are a lot of other projects are taking place in the domain of renewable energy. We've seen new industrial complex in Bani Suef, we've seen a new industrial complex in Asyut. So actually things are moving all together, and again at the heart of this ecosystem you always find quality academia, quality education, quality R&D institution.
Yes.
And hopefully we'll have more collaboration between the private sector and the academia for having more applied R&D, which will make a difference, because such applied R&D will help the industry to be competitive, to be resilient, to be more effective, to be more efficient, and of course this will make them more profitable, and more profitability means that you are able to open new projects, having a more window or a wider window for more employment, because the ecosystem is moving all together. You cannot move in one direction and leaving other directions behind. Actually, it doesn't work like this. So that's why we have seen a lot of efforts, a lot of development are taking place in all different aspects on the economic and social level, and all connected together for, of course, having more competitive, resilient nation.
Yes, so Doctor, allow me to be going to the other report of the daily debate, which is focusing on the Ministry of Planning and Cairo University launching an initiative for the sustainable universities. We'll be having more details regarding this important topic and this important initiative for both the Ministry of Planning and the University of Cairo in the upcoming report. Stay tuned.